Hello there.
It's the Solo Sci-Fi Podcast.
Hello and welcome to this week's podcast, which has been going on about Michael Crichton and Westworld. And I would like to introduce my co-host, Co-Clutch, aka Michael Ball. I said made a ball joke earlier.
Having a ball.
Having a ball. And I'm by the gods of science fiction. Yes, I know the name's not exaggerated, but yes, here I am for this week's podcast, and I don't have a clue what we're doing this week. So
I love it. That's the best way to go. Well, hello, Martin Fowler. By the gods of science fiction, he's back. Thank you for joining me once again. I've got a frog in my throat. We are talking this week about the series which has just finished, which of course is Star Wars Obi Wan Kenobi. I hope you've seen it. Have you seen the last episode now? Please say you have.
Obi Wan Kenobi.
Is that a yes or no?
The what?
Have you seen it? You seen the whole series now?
Yes, I've seen it. I wouldn't be asking that.
No, the thing is, right, if you say no, then we're buggered because I can't go on to episode 6. And obviously that... I know. It's the anticipation. I know. It's like I don't know. It's like the Titanic sinking, that scene there with the way I reacted. So I mean, we're going to talk about a couple of things first, but obviously when we get to the Obi Wan Kenobi, there's going to be spoilers. So let's hope you've seen it. I think most people now would have seen the last episode, and I really want to get your sort of perspective because you were a bit underwhelmed with episode 5. So episode 6, but let's not talk about that yet. We've got a few other things to talk about. So, first of all, how's sunny London? Rainy, it's showery London, isn't it? At the moment, it's a bit sort of touch and go weather-wise, isn't it?
It's, yeah, on and off. So another big question is that.
What?
Is it raining in London on and off? We're talking about science fiction.
It's just nice to give our subscribers a bit of background about what's going on in our lives. It's like, I saw a traffic warden today.
I'm going to say Elvis tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. They've got a few of these biography movies. They had the Elton John one recently. They had the Queen one. Do you like all those sort of films about the backgrounds of the these major sort of pop sensations or music sensations?
I enjoyed the Freddie Mercury. It could have been. I wanted the more darker parts of it.
Right.
They were like, it was a good film, but it was a bit.
What about the Elton John one? Have you seen that? Did he have a wig on?
Absolutely super.
Oh, good. Okay.
I do recommend.
With Elton John, even though he's a good musician, what damaged his credibility with me, which is really something which is trivia, is that when I was in the 80s, we used to watch him. He was as bald as a coot, and then suddenly he was on an interview and he had this rug on. And after that, I never really took him seriously, which is not fair because he's a brilliant musician. But I couldn't get on with the syrup, quite frankly. I mean, he's had it for so long now. I think he's had it like William Shatner, where it's been like sort of like stitched into the scalp, whatever they do. And it's just, I don't know what about him. I don't know, but I do like his music. They should do a David Bowie one.
I saw the Elvis trailer and it blew me away.
Is it? Yeah. So is it out in the cinema now? Or is it coming out or what? Okay, well, let me know when you see it, if it's any good. And nice one, brilliant. Right. So, obviously, we're going to the news. Have you seen the latest Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, and the latest Orville episodes? What do you think of them both?
I've seen everything. I've seen it all, and I've absorbed it, regurgitated
assimilated it. It's part of the Fowler collective consciousness.
Thought about it, turned it all out.
Okay, well, that's a bit too graphic for my liking. I don't know. Okay, you shite it out at the end of the day. So, how was your Trek excrement then? How was? I wasn't that mad about this week. I could see why they did it. I could see that it's to me. Let me say before I get your perspective. Obviously, all the Star Treks do have the 24th century had the holodeck episodes going wrong, where they're all dressed up and all that sort of stuff. The original series have 1 or 2 episodes as well, including was it by Gods Destroy, that one where William Shatner ends up acting like a horse or something, and he's going, and it's a terrible gif. Is it by Whom Gods Destroy, isn't it? Whom Gods Destroy, the one where he's dressed up and he kisses Uhura.
Yeah, sorry.
That one.
thought where
no, but he does. He goes like this. He neighs like this at one point. It's terrible.
Sorry.
No. I need to clarify that one. That was it. It wasn't that. No, I know. I'm not going mad. It wasn't like that. For me, my issue with this episode was simply this. We have got very, very short seasons of Strange New Worlds. They're only 10 episodes long. And I think that this episode might have worked for me better if we had a few more episodes with the new characters under their belt. We've only got 10 episodes. This is only episode 8. So to see them acting out of... I mean, Pike was brilliant as the coward. I loved that bit. He was hilarious. But for me, it might be, in retrospect, better viewing once the series has continued on to season 2 and there's a few more episodes, so I'm a bit more familiar with all the characters. But it is a Trek staple to have episodes where they dress up and they do things out of character like this. And they're just doing that. They're just ticking off the boxes in classic Trek. So I didn't dislike it, but it's my least favorite episode of the show so far. How about yourself? What did you like about it? Did you like the way that
it was in the turbo, like going up to the bridge, and then credits kicked in, and then suddenly was dressed as the king.
Yeah.
And the door up, it reminded me of a 60s episode.
Did it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It had a 60s feel to some of those episodes.
I loved it. I thought it was a very good episode.
I did like the Doctor.
I thought it was very intelligent. I love Spock being the Weasley wizard. Behind doors. I thought that was great.
Pike as the coward was brilliant. I mean, he was hilarious.
He would love playing that part.
Yeah, you could tell they all had a good time doing it. They would have really loved doing it.
It was just nice to see a sort of really cool episode. Now, the question is, I've read some comments on certain reviews, and that a lot of people weren't happy about Dr. M'Benga's daughter.
Were they? In what?
Some people weren't happy about it.
What, the way that the characters sort of finished the resolution? I thought it would go on longer. I thought it would be at least a couple of seasons with the daughter and the transporter buffer. In some ways, it does make me wonder whether it was actually really worth going for in the first place, because this arc was literally about 3 episodes long. But I mean, it was interesting. It gave a bit more perspective to M'Benga's character.
Well, it was an entity of vast cosmic power had been born. Coming to what do they call it? The Borrelian brain.
I can't remember the name of it.
Something like that, and it was like it could alter matter and do stuff. It will only and it evolved her as well, didn't it? Saved her, you know. And some people were a bit annoyed about it, you know, but.
I thought that was the best bit of the film.
I thought it was the best bit in it.
I thought that was the best. Yeah, the best bit of the actual episode was the Dr. M'Benga's daughter, and then she grows up and she's become kind of like she loves her dad and she's happy and she's free of the disease. So it was a kind of happy ending. I don't know whether
she'd evolved.
But I don't know whether. I mean, I reckon at some point we could see her again later on. Maybe
I'll
come back.
Bring her back.
Yeah, that's what I. So.
Back in the next season or whatever.
Yeah, but that's fine. So that's another sort of element trait. So yeah, that bit was I don't know, it was all right. I mean, like I said, but I still think Strange New Worlds
it's a story that's been done before.
Yeah, but in the end, there's going to be some. I mean, Star Trek will soon be reached about 1,000 episodes. There's going to be repetition. Every episode you see of any new Star Trek series, you're always going to say, "Oh, that reminds me of an episode of season 2 of The Next Generation where Picard." You know, it's the nature. You know, there are only certain amount of stories that can be told without some parallels to another Star Trek episode. So I'm okay with that. So that was okay. What did you think of the Orville episode 4, which featured the Krill's homeworld? I thought it was very good as well.
I watched that one with mate, and I was expecting a 2-parter because of the amount of guest stars that were in.
Yeah, it could have been stretched to 2 parts actually. I could see that. But maybe because I only got a limited season length, they're trying to condense it a bit. I mean, it felt like it felt like it wasn't too rushed or too padded. It felt it moved just right for me. It felt like just the right content.
The revelation he had, the daughter,
Ed's daughter, yeah, I thought that was very poignant and very sad because I can't remember the character, the Krill female character. I know it begins with a T. She's appeared now 3 times in the show as like a recurring thing, and I think that the chemistry between her and Ed is very good. Yeah, I think it's very solid, and we saw the obviously the Orville fleet came along, and it really looked like it's going to get really bad, and then it was good. It was a solid episode. Great production.
It's not about she's pissed at him, isn't she? I mean,
yeah. She's pissed.
That's why a lot of this, but
that's what it's all about. It's like because she's having a backlash because of the experiences. She's bitter about it, which is why she's doing all this.
The Krill they're gonna get their asses handed to them by Kalon.
Obviously the Kalon will come along. They'll have to reunite for some big war which is coming in.
But it's like Deep Space Nine with the Klingons, isn't it? Remember when they signed the kit?
When they came along, before the Dominion and everything.
I get a lot of Star Trek feelings from Orville at the moment.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's always been, but it's really now. And the comedy is completely almost got. But the scene with Annie, and they had Annie the musical, and some of the aliens were actually in the musical, and you saw the Krill's face. That was the funniest moment I've seen of the show so far this season.
I think the humor worked. I mean,
so funny.
There was some interview when they said that they were planning that they were going to tone the humor down.
Well, I just think for me at least so far, I think season 2 was the best balance between humor and science fiction.
Yeah.
It's now really more like a alternate universe Star Trek series. It really is. The humor's just almost Strange New Worlds last week was funnier than the Orville.
Yes, definitely.
And you can't imagine that. Talk about Discovery 2 or 3 years ago and how that would you never would have seen that then. And the Orville season 1 and Discovery season 1 were going. They couldn't have been more different for the comedic and the serious factor. And now it's almost like Strange New Worlds, at least last week, was funnier than the Orville. So you go figure. I don't know. It's very strange. So yeah, some good stuff. And obviously we're going to see the end of the Star Wars. So that's the only things I saw. I saw the episode 3 of Strange for All Mankind as well. Really good stuff. And I'm finally into season 9 of, I know you don't watch it, The Walking Dead, and oh my god, that's just such a good series. I love that. But I remember why you might not be so much into it, because it's more horror. It's got more of a horror factor, and I think that might put you off slightly as I've got to know you. It's not that you detest it, but I think you're more into like the superhero side of things. Yeah. And I'm slightly more into I know we like a lot of the same stuff, but we've got slight variations as to what we both like.
I'm not really into like the Jason movies, or
watched them. But it's not kind of like got that real click with you. Like
I watch it. It was like Hellraiser. I tried following that. I gave up after number.
I've seen 1 or 2, but I think I'm like that with some of the superhero sort of stuff. I don't mind Marvel, but I'm not into things like Batman and stuff. I just can't get on with it.
Well, I saw the Batman film, and I wasn't that impressed with it.
I would probably like that. I like the Joker one.
No, they tried to make it realistic, and to be honest, I know it was more of a detective movie, but I was shitless. And I thought I
would have thought that's what surprises me, because I mean sometimes you do surprise me with things that we talk about and you say, and so I say to you, I would have thought you'd like that. Well, in the end you can't tell.
I wouldn't have paid 15 quid to go see that for 3 hours. I mean, I was both, honestly, it was alright, but Robert Pattinson, that actor, he was like playing this weird version of Bruce Wayne. And it just didn't work, for me.
So many versions of it though now, but no. Yeah. I mean, I might at some point I'll watch it, but I'm very indifferent to Batman films.
I mean, how many Batman movies do you do about his past and the events?
This is part of the issue. I'm bored of it.
I'd rather move on and put Batman into the bigger universe.
But it always goes back to the beginning of his origins. Yeah, like I said.
That's why I like Ben Affleck. They opened him up into the much bigger universe with the other characters, and that's where I was hoping it'd all go. I've had enough single Batman movies.
Yeah.
I'll probably get shot down for saying them.
Well, in the end, it's your choice. In the end, if you like something, you like it. If you don't, you don't. No one should tell you what you should do. You should. Obviously, with us, we have no, and exactly like certain things that that we both watch. Some things I like more than you do, and vice versa. That's fair enough, and that's the way.
But like horror movies, I mean, I'm a big fan of Fright Night.
Fright Night's a good film. Yeah.
And I like Blade, The Vampire Hunter. I mean,
Alien, The Fly, The Thing, Christine.
But stuff like Hellraiser and that, I gave up when that box was a space station. I came in.
There was one in space, wasn't there? There was a space one.
Yeah, that's the last one.
Yeah.
Oh, and I switched it off.
Yeah.
And after this, like Jason, I know you like. Now I like Halloween, the original one,
and Halloween 3.
No, actually, I don't like Halloween.
You said that. I'll turn you around with that one.
Well, I was shut down because everybody else was
This year, this Halloween, we're going to review The Mist because you've not seen that yet, and I keep going about The Mist. It's a really good film. But it is funny. Another one, of course, is The Fog as well. We've got to review that. So this year, this Halloween, actually, what we do, right? When we get closer, I'm going to do a poll on my channel. Which film should we review, The Fog or The Mist? And we'll go with what people.
I bet The Fog wins.
I reckon, but you've not seen The Mist, but I've seen both, and I like both, but they're very different from each other. Right. So, anything else before we go to our focus of the week?
Hang on.
Well, he's getting ready now.
Obi Wan Kenobi.
Here we go.
It's the Solar Sci-Fi Focus of the Week.
All right. Actually, I was going to say, that's right. I was thinking about the Zoom thing, but let's go with it, and we can pause it. So we have just seen the Obi Wan series, Star Wars. This is the third live-action TV series, which has been. It's only 6 episodes long. One of the episodes is only like 30 minutes long, which is too short. And we talked about it. We saw up to episode 5. So do you want to just go through each episode, or should we just generally talk about the whole show and then ask your opinion about the last episode? You spotted the fly. It looks like your spider's up there or something. You're looking up with the.
No.
Is it a spider?
No, I've lost my bloody smartwatch and I thought I saw it.
Okay, right. Yeah. You put it down. So, shall we go to each episode, or just go generally and talk about this?
Right, Obi-Wan. Right.
Go on.
I watched the final episode. I have to say I was very impressed.
Oh, I thought you would be. It was really good.
But I will get into a part you probably won't agree with. I thought the Vader thing, the Inquisitor, Obi-Wan finding his confidence, mojo, and he took Vader out. He took him down, and he walked away from him. He could have took him out, finished him, and it goes more into the Vader sort of character. That this is a man that's just been used since he was a kid.
Yeah.
It's just people have took advantage. Even the Jedi kept him down.
Yes, he couldn't progress,
I can see why. But he in a way, they sort of created their own monster, even though he was corrupted. But he wasn't evil. He was just taking advantage, and you felt his pain. The lightsaber fight, Vader just did it, and then he shoved all them rocks on him.
Yeah,
and suddenly Obi-Wan got into the stride.
He had his suddenly all kicked back in.
And he all kicked back in, and he pulled them rocks out, and he jumped out, and he took him. And when he cut his helmet, I know they did it in the cartoon series.
Rebels,
and he said, "Anakin, I'm sorry." I was edging my seat here. I thought, this. He said, "Anakin, I'm so sorry." And
I have to say, it's one of the well, it's not. It was really up there in one of the best scenes I've ever seen. I mean, and also what was so clever was that when Anakin said that you didn't destroy Anakin, I did. It was very clever because the lightsaber, the lightsaber was blue on his face at that time, like it partly come back. And then they very cleverly changed his lightsaber, making it more red. His eyes go slightly more yellow, and then he says, "And then I will destroy you." And to me, it was made the whole series for me. It just made the whole thing so worth it. It was absolutely fantastic. I couldn't believe how good it was.
What tops it off is when he said, "I'm sorry," and he meant it.
And he called him Darth for the first time. He actually said, "Goodbye, Darth." And he says that he calls him Darth in episode 4, which is some wonderful links with the prequels and the originals. It all dovetailed, most of it really well. Really well.
And he said to him, he said, "It wasn't you that destroyed me. It was me. I killed Anakin."
Yeah.
And that just put it on. And he just said, "Okay, Darth, right, you're bitter and twisted, full of resentment. You stay in that place. I'm off." And he could have killed Obi Wan, took him out there and then. He could have ended it, and he didn't. He walks off. Because about showing mercy makes you a better person. And he walked. And that's
so obviously Hayden wasn't in it very much compared to the others. But what scenes he did appear in? Because he was in flashbacks in episode 5, which was really nicely done. But you've got to admit that when he was there, he did really make those scenes really good. I think that they did. Some people are saying they wish they had more flashbacks with the earlier episodes, but in some ways the show built up. And then what I liked about it was that by episode 3 or 4, people say, "Oh, this is very good." And then episode 5, I know you weren't so into episode 5, but I could tell then it was starting to really kind of come together. And then episode 6 really made the whole series just completely worthwhile. And it's at the point where now, in the future, when I watch episode 4 or 3 or whatever in the future, I will be thinking about this TV series. It's a lovely addition to the movies, and I'm so glad they made it. I'm really glad they made it.
The one downfall in this for me was the whole Reva thing. It was pointless.
Yeah, Reva. Now this is the thing as well, because the Reva, she in episode 6, he kind of like there were scenes where we saw Anakin and Obi-Wan, and then it went back to Reva in the obviously the Skywalker home, and I just wanted to go back to Obi-Wan and Darth, but I didn't mind Reva. I thought she was okay. What do you think about Reva?
I know it was the side storyline, but her agenda of being just trying to get near him to kill him, all them years wasted doing that, and she couldn't kill young Luke Skywalker because I found a lot of her story. It wasn't needed. It wasn't needed. It really wasn't needed. And I made sure we're good. I like the Inquisitors. I would have had it if you'd have got like Obi-Wan fighting the Inquisitors, and it takes them out, and we're building to this thing. I didn't mind the Princess Leia thing. I thought that was quite a clever choice.
I thought that was right too, actually. Yeah, I've got no problems with that.
The Reva thing just did not work. There was no need for it. She could have just been a separate character from somewhere else to me.
I've got the feeling that she's going to appear in other series. I think that, she could technically appear in The Mandalorian or Ahsoka or whatever. Because this is set 10 years. Oh, I've already got 10 minutes of this bloody Zoom again before we have to reset. This is set 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, and Mandalorian 6 years after Return of the Jedi. So. How many years is it between where this series was and where The Mandalorian is now?
It's the Mandalorian.
About 15 years?
It could be, yeah. It's because I think I worked it out. This is 10 years like Vader's rising to power now. And so
Luke is only 10, and we see Luke in
this is before the New Hope.
Yeah, so Luke is only 10 in this, and when we see The Mandalorian, he's about...
The 18 is now.
I say 15, maybe whatever. But so technically, you could easily have Reva in one of the. I don't know.
10 years. 10 years.
Some people says some people weren't a big fan of the way that the actress played Reva. I mean, I didn't mind her. She didn't particularly stand out for me, but she's all right. She's okay, but I don't know whether it was. I don't know whether it was her character. No, I don't know whether it was the way.
Their storyline just didn't make sense.
Yeah,
it really did. So she spent 10 years of her life plotting and scheming,
bearing a grudge just to get her revenge. Yeah,
to get him and all that. It was just a waste of time. She could have, just what she's done a runner, joined Rebel Alliance, and plotted their revenge. That's what she should have done. I mean, we're all that, there were no need for it. I like the return of the Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor.
The one that's in the animation series, the Grand.
But after seeing the final episode, like I'm like you, I think a lot of people they tend to shoot things down before we get to the ending so quickly. I think they're expecting a lot more on first or two episodes. But I found when you got through, I mean, there's a couple of episodes that are a bit annoying. But overall, when I saw that final episode last week,
made it all worthwhile for me.
It made it all worthwhile, and
absolutely,
I can understand where they were going with it.
Yeah, and I think it's great they did it. I really am. There were some other surprises.
I love that.
That's the next thing I was going to say. A couple of surprises. We saw Ian McDermott back as Palpatine, fantastic as usual. And then, of course, Liam Neeson made a cameo as well as. Wasn't that a wonderful surprise?
Well, did you notice his feet in the stand as well?
No, I didn't actually.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, that basically that's some prayer about that. When you're walking on the beach, you're not alone because there's other footsteps, and that's
like a sort of parallel, kind of like a companion thing.
Never alone.
Yeah.
Because they have to evolve to a point of saying, And I think it was great. I think it was good, and I'm going to watch it all again. And
absolutely,
I probably will appreciate things.
I think some people have been saying one aspect which has been a problem with both the Book of Boba Fett and now Obi-Wan is that they're sort of bringing back classic characters and making their own spin on them. Whereas the Mandalorian, what gave it its strength is that it was an original character. It wasn't linked to anything in the past, so it could actually go further in wherever it's going. And I can see some parallels with that. I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, with the Andor series, we don't really know Cassian Andor that much anyway, so I think they've got more freedom for that. Even though, but again, even with that series, you know how he's going to die. So whether they should do more series where they're completely independent from a existing movie character, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, maybe that Reva is going to cross over into the Andor series because around the same time.
Yeah, it is about the same time.
It is about the same time.
But I know that Andor was filmed in the UK. Yeah. And of course, so whether she flew over and she could appear in that, I don't know.
She's English anyway.
What's that?
English. I think she's English. The actress, she's English.
Is she? I didn't know. But what I'm saying is, I don't know when. When were they both filmed? I don't know. I mean, Ahsoka. Not Ahsoka.
Both filmed around about the same time.
Yeah, so I suppose they could have done. They could even green screen it. They could. Yeah, they could do. I don't know. I mean, I hope that. Like I said, I spoke to someone at work, and they said they agree with me that basically what they liked about it is that it's making a bigger universe. All these series, they're all linked, but it makes the whole Star Wars universe bigger and more a bit like the Star Trek universe. And I agree about that. It's all expanding out. Whereas in the past we only had like the first 3 films, and then we had the 6 with the prequels. But now we've got all these other things coming along, which all tie in. And I love that. And also the continuity is fantastic. Whereas Star Trek messed up. It makes the universe like it's all in one place, and I like that.
Yeah, universe building is if they get it right. Stargate got it right, and certainly
Star Trek got it right until Discovery, and then they messed up.
We won't talk about it.
It's a sore point for Martin Fowler over there. But yeah, I mean, whatever. Like I said, I've been very pleased with this. we've only got another 2 months before the 12-part Andor series, which comes out.
Do you think 12 parts is too long for this?
Well, it's 2 seasons. It's going to be 20. It's going to be 24 episodes, apparently. It's 2 seasons.
Do you think that's a bit overlong?
No. I mean, if it's done well, I don't know. I don't know much about this. I've seen the trailer for Andor. It looks good, and I don't know. I can't answer that until I've seen it.
It could be, it could be. The whole thing is probably because, like Ahsoka, I think her series is going to be set during the rebellion.
I thought Ahsoka's going to be set. No, Ahsoka's going to be set during the Mandalorian era. It's not going to be set.
No, they're on our reading.
Oh, maybe. I thought it was a sequel.
Doing it towards the end of the Empire, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. I thought it was kind of like a parallel going at the same time as Mandalorian season 3.
There's so much out there. But I've heard rumours that we're getting young Palpatine.
I love the character. They'd have to find a good actor for Palpatine, but I'm sure they could.
But I think young. Well, they'd be set in his like.
But they've got the Acolytes, haven't they? The Acolyte series as well. It's supposed to be set like 1,000 years before or something. It was the biggest ever time change ever in the Star Wars universe.
The Old Republic.
Old Republic, which we've never seen in live action. So that's interesting.
Now that's going to be interesting.
I know. Well, listen, I want to talk a slight bit more about this, but bloody Zoom is running out of time on my end. So what we'll do is I'm going to just fade out, and we'll be right back. But so obviously we're back now, so we're just sort of finishing off talking about. So what do you think? How do you think Star Wars is going to continue over the next few years? Do you think it's going to be predominantly just a TV-based series, or do you think it will go to the movies?
I think that they'll be going to movies to be some big trilogy, and then because what they're doing, they're building around the movies, aren't they? They're building the expanded universe, and they're going to go back to the beginning, the Old Republic. Yeah,
I mean, I hadn't really thought about that. That maybe all these live action shows are to reinforce that it could well be that a future movie will have some links to it, like like Star Trek Generations was a spin-off from Star Trek: The Next Generation and things like that. So I could see that. So I suppose really to sum things up then. So out of 10, we do this quite often with TV series. What would you rate Star Wars Obi Wan series out of 10?
It's a bit of a difficult one because, like, what a couple of doozy episodes, but the final episode sort of. I'm gonna be 7.5.
7.5, yeah. I'm going to give it 8.2. I think, because I think that it would have been 7.5, but episode 6 was so strong. And it really did pull the earlier episodes in together, and it's sort of like it kind of made the whole thing worthwhile. And the build up to that, and also Ewan McGregor was just so good back in his role, which he first played more than 20 years ago. So
yeah, but a lot of people that I knew watched it. They felt the first few episodes they couldn't connect with it.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I can see where they came from.
It shouldn't have been like that. This were a thing. I mean, out of all the Star Wars series, even the Mando, this was the one I was hyped on, even more than the Mandalorian, because it's Obi Wan bloody Kenobi. And so what it's a big thing was this, and I think it took a bit too long to connect. I liked it, but there was something.
I think they did that on no, but they did that on purpose because he was in hiding. He lost the ability to use the Force, and I think that was done on purpose. And that's what gave it its strength with the last episode. He was back. He finally got back to the Obi-Wan that he knew. That's what I think was done.
He was balanced out. Now the question I put to you now. If there is a season 2 of Obi-Wan, where do you go with it? Because he can't meet Vader again. He's met him.
Do you know what? In some ways, I don't know whether there needs to be a season 2 of Obi-Wan. I think, quite frankly, from my perspective, the series has done what it was there for. It was a link between episodes 3 and 4. It was it wasn't exactly necessary, but they achieved what the whole show was about. Now, I've heard that apparently the ratings have gone down well. It's got high viewership, and I'm going to do that in the news as well. So I don't know. I don't know whether it needs a season 2, really. I mean, it's nice to see him, but...
There's going to come a time, right? There's going to come a time when we're all going to move on from the Star Wars universe. The hardcore fans will, but there's a lot of people that aren't big fans that, you know, they're just watching it because they're enjoying it.
Yeah, sure.
But there's going to come a time when they've milked every single character. Now, their problem, Disney, is walking the line, right? Because...
You mean saturation?
Because, not saturation, it's saying like that some character, right? A Yoda TV series or something, you know, Emperor Palpatine or Princess Leia.
Yeah.
TV set. I mean, all these characters, the Jawa TV about a Jawa family. I mean, how far you got? Sometimes with franchises, they think, oh, let's bring Darth Maul back. You know, let's go into a part of his life, right? And then we get 6 episodes, and then there's no writing, there's no solid substance to it. And then we're all fed up of it, and then let's
tired of it.
Ethan Maul back. And this time we're fighting Imperial troops on another. What I'm saying is, you've got to be careful.
Yes.
Because also there's like an arrogance of marketing. Oh, let's bring a Vader series in. Do you know when they start bringing characters?
Star Trek did this. Star Trek did this in.
To be careful.
Yeah,
these
because
they're just thinking just because there's a name, it's going to sell. It doesn't work like that.
Now, I know that Star Trek and Star Wars are 2 very different entities, and Star Wars is far more popular than Star Trek. But a lot of people attributed to the failure of Star Trek. Well, what I'm saying is, with Enterprise, a lot of people said that its failure was partly based on franchise fatigue. At that point, it had been on for 18 years. Yeah. It had the Next Generation, DS9, Voyager, and then Enterprise. And a lot of those series had...
And numerous movies.
Yeah, so...
And I mean, I'm a diehard fan of Enterprise. I am...
me too, as you know.
Which just, I don't know, but Enterprise should have finished the audit but you are right. It was on its final knees.
Yeah, because there's just so much that they can make. But the one difference is that the Star Trek shows, most of those each season was 26 episodes per season. These Star Wars series are only like 8, or the Andor's will be 12. So it's kind of like, for the material, it's still going to be a lot less than 7 seasons of Next Gen, 7 seasons of DS9, 7 seasons of Voyager, 4 seasons of Enterprise. Most of those 26 episodes per season. That's a ton of material. That's hundreds and hundreds of episodes.
So, and you're going to watch over and over again. You've been milking that for years.
Yeah.
But it's like something has a run for about 10 years, the franchise. It grows. And then it
gets to a point, and then it dissipates. Yeah, I agree about that.
Because
so let's
no imagination. But what I'm going to say is, like, the Marvel, amongst Marvel and the MCU, when did that start? 2000 and something? All the latest Marvel, it's all been now. Because after the game, I know there's a fan base, but like, so a lot of the series, they're not going down with the fan base. And the recent move, they've only had 2 hit movies. That was Doctor Strange.
Well, you're a big Marvel fan, more than I am, and I like Marvel. Sorry, the internet's breaking up, so I have to sort of like try and hear what you're saying.
I'm not rushing down to the cinema to go see it like I did before.
Yeah,
I can't do it like that. Eternals and all the others. It's been about 5 movies, 4 of them, at least 4 flopped. 2 have done because they're based on the older characters. No, and then the Guardians and 4 this year, they're going to do well. But once after the 3 movie, it's like you get like 3 movies of a character and then it's gone. And then he might pop up as a guest appearance. But people start getting bored. You know, I think Marvel now is. I think that they may have just been. Star Wars is still growing.
Oh yeah, Star Wars is way behind. It's way behind.
Yeah,
but what you're saying is
they will catch up.
Yeah, so what you're saying is Marvel is a good indication of the possible future of the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
I think I could be wrong. This could go on for 20 years. I could be wrong. But like I said, with Star Trek, it started in '87.
Yeah, but is it? But also, it's different now. It's different now because it's on streaming platforms, so it's a different kind of audience because it's not the same as like live TV where you just sit there and it's on at 6 o'clock on BBC Two. That gives it a different perspective. It's not. It's harder to forecast what it's going to be like because it's a whole relatively new format in respect of making these big shows for. So I don't know. I think you could be right, but I don't know.
I think I like the point you made because the thing is now with all this stuff, you're paying for it out of your own pocket.
Yeah.
But then that puts the streaming networks in problem because they can't just make crap. They've got to make high quality goods.
But luckily, Disney have got money. Disney have got a ton of money, so they can make good quality Star Wars. And so far, they've done quite well. But in the future, I mean, like I said, I'm glad they're with Disney. Quite frankly.
You know how much the Mando cost per episode to make?
I don't know, 3 million or something.
How much?
3 million. 15. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, but it does look very cinematic. It does look cinematic.
That's what I mean. But that's the quality you've got to make. That is where you're right about the difference. Where it was on Sky 1 year ago with adverts on the BBC.
Yeah.
So if you're paying £8-9 a month, you know, if you get a load of crap, you're gonna move on. It's like Netflix, isn't it? I moved on. You got rid of it. I got to, you know. There's one or two things on there you might.
It's not enough. It's not enough for me to keep it going.
Not enough. Justify £10 a month. You know.
Yeah, but then look at Paramount. Now Paramount is obviously they're trying to get, not in the UK yet, but in America now, all the Star Trek series and the movies are just available to watch on Paramount. You can't watch them on Netflix anymore. You can't watch them on, and they're kind of trying to corner the market for certain franchises where if you want to see it and you don't own it, and they're actually trying to dissuade you from owning stuff. They want you just to be able to pay for it and stream it. They don't want you having copies anymore.
Obviously, you're not going to want. I don't want to be paying out for 10 streaming services.
No, I don't either. I'd
rather have a big hard time with it all.
This is, and we talked about this before. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's the same conversation. I mean, I worked out I was spending with Amazon, Disney, and Netflix. It worked out at £270 a year.
Oh yeah, soon that's up.
I mean, I watch The Boys on Amazon and I pop in, but mostly I buy stuff from Amazon. So it's not as if I'm on Amazon every day looking for stuff.
No, but you can pay for digital stuff and access it. Yeah, I mean that's the way of doing it. I mean,
fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. But I've said this many times before that the streaming things, it's kind of touch and go because they could take things away from you again. That's why you've got to either buy a Blu-ray or have a digital copy or something which is yours and it can't be tampered with or changed or all this. I don't know. It's interesting. But I still am an old-fashioned guy. I like physically having a copy. I'm
like you because we are of that generation.
Yeah, but that's changing though. That's the thing. The whole thing's changing.
The younger ones, it's a lot of them want to download games now.
Yeah, exactly.
And the gaming, it's not just you and a disc playing on your own. They're creating entire universe.
Oh yeah, you might as well never go out again. It's like being plugged into the Matrix. You just sit there and you. I'm not a gamer myself. I like old games from the 80s.
No,
but it's
on game.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not a gamer. I like Grand Theft Auto. That's the only one I occasionally play. But I'm not a gamer. I can see the appeal, but I just don't know why. I just haven't got time. I'm too busy doing stuff. But I can see why. But what I'm saying is, you put your virtual reality on, forget it. You might as well be in like the Matrix kind of thing, and you'd never do anything again. You know.
I'm not going to run down the shop, right? buy the latest game, but wait a few months, it'll come down. Guys, I like it on a disc. Put it in. I tried the online thing with Star Wars, and it just drove me. I couldn't do with it. You know, loads of,
yeah. They had the Star Trek Online as well. I've never done that either. I've never done the Star Trek Online one either.
I was about stiff.
Yeah,
I thought, what? And eventually, pay for the ships to buy, you know. Listen, yeah, I just want to put a game in. I'm like, and 3 or 4 hours a week of a bash at something. Get to a certain point and go back to it the week after, and that's it. I'd rather be watching science fiction, to be honest. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, it is a partly generational thing. I mean, you know, I think we are relatively up to date with what we're doing, like making podcasts and doing Photoshops and graphics and sound mixing. You know, we can do certain things that a lot of people can't do. But it's still a generational thing. You know, it's kind of like, you know, the stuff that we're doing is, I don't know, it's a weird thing. But anyway, look, I'm glad that you like the new Star Wars series. I think it's going to be interesting to look back in a few years' time, once we're in the future, to see how Star Wars turns out then, whether they can maintain this good quality of production. I think it's in pretty good hands, especially with David Filoni.
It's all that moment.
It could change. Let's just see how it goes. I'm cautiously optimistic. You know, they seem to have really sorted out the Star Trek franchise now in Strange New Worlds. They do listen to the fans. So let's be optimistic. Yeah, it took them 5 years. Yeah, 2018.
Yeah, they shouldn't have took them.
Shouldn't have taken one season. They shouldn't. I know. I totally agree about that. I don't know, but in the end, it is what it is. And I know we're going to be there. We're going to be watching it, and hopefully, we'll be talking about it for many years to come. So, Martin, thank you for that. I'm really glad that you liked it, and well done, Star Wars, for making such a good series. Right, we've got a few bits of news now, so let's just go into our news for the week. Here we go.
Working. So the sci-fi news.
I've got some interest. No, you
good. No. You got interested. You led in. Tell me what interesting news you got.
There was something I put on my sci-fi page.
All right.
And I wanted to show you this. I've been busy this week.
That's all right. No problem.
Right, hang on. Is it? Well, something.
Can I just say that the internet is not very good your end, Martin? So we can hear you, but it's a bit jumpy.
I thought of you. This is. Hang on. Is that it? Right. No, this is it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
go on.
The Thing is crushing at the box office 4 decades after its original release. I was going to send you this. I got all about it.
The word in question. The word in question faded out. What's crushing it in the box office?
The Thing.
The Thing. Oh well, it's a classic, isn't it? No, it's surprising.
4 decades after its original release.
So it's an anniversary. So they'll be released it on the cinema, aren't they? Is that what they're doing?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it was 81, 82, wasn't it? I think it was 82. So that'd be about right. And it is a classic. I mean, it's. I've always liked it. Go on.
There's no carry on. I've just found now, but you carry on.
Yeah, it is a classic movie. We've all seen it many times, and I actually still like the prequel, which they made about 10, 15 years ago. Now, let me just say that the internet is really breaking up your end, so we're going to be a bit sort of talking over each other, so we'll just have to cope as much as we can. So say what you're going to say next, Martin. Sorry.
Right, have you seen the Witch Cuckoos, the new one?
No. Have you seen that?
I've not seen it. I thought you might have got it. I was going to contact Bindi. I think it's 4 weeks in now. There's a new series of the Village of the Damned, a remake.
Oh, well, I like the original one.
I was just wondering if the digital gods that.
No, but I'm sure that the digital gods can make their presence felt at some point. No, but have you heard reviews of it? How's it going down from what you heard about it?
I've not heard much about it. I've heard it's very good.
Well, okay.
it's worth a look. Apparently, it's more horror.
Okay, so that's why you thought of me. Okay.
Sky One, I think there's 7 episodes. I don't know how it's in.
Right.
But it started, I think, 4 or 5 weeks ago. So it might have finished. It's the new interpretation of the Village of the Damned. So I thought we'd cover this.
Yeah, well, look, we have mentioned the original Village of the Damned. Because there was a remake of that in the 90s, was it? I think it was 90s.
Yeah,
was that one with Christopher Reeve?
Yeah, John Carpenter.
Yeah, wasn't Christopher Reeve in the remake?
The Alley.
Yeah. And I remember that was all right. I didn't mind the remake, but they made another one again. Like I said, I'm always a bit of trepidation with remakes, especially after the new Twilight Zone series, which I was a bit really underwhelmed with.
Yes,
but it's worth a look. It's worth checking out. So yeah, all right, that sounds good. I've got some news on my end. Robert, aka TrekFan68, very kindly sent me. Hello, Robert. I hope you're doing okay. He sent me a thing just shortly before I hit record to say apparently the Klingons hinted to be returning in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 2. The second season of Strange New Worlds should be wrapping production soon, and we are getting a few hints about what's in store. Klingons and Mbenga, in his appearance on the latest episode of Ready Room, Babs, I can't pronounce his name, talked about what is in store for Mbenga, and he says we'll see in the next season. We're already shooting, essentially exploring another side of Dr. Mbenga, a darker side of him, and we could say it's an exploration of his contentious relationship with the Klingons. So whether they're going to be, I assume it's going to be the redesigned Klingons because it's in the era when Discovery was set. So pleased about it, indifferent? What do you think about them coming back to Strange New Worlds?
It better not be them Klingons for so 5 years ago. They better not bring them.
It's likely. I reckon they will be. What they could do,
really?
They could be. What they could do, they could be clever and have a mix of the more traditional Klingons and then some of the Discovery Klingons. I'd be right with that.
They're about in the background.
Like Romulans, you know, like in Picard, we had Romulans with more of the next gen and then you had more of the classic Romulans.
Yes.
If they did it that way, I'm actually okay with that. I can live with that. So I don't know. Let's see what goes about that.
They were the most ridiculous Klingon. I mean, when I saw them, I was like,
they were pretty bad. Yeah, they were pretty bad. Other news I've got, apparently the Taika Waititi's, I can't pronounce his name, Star Wars film will not be shot this year. There was a Star Wars film which was supposed to be entering production, I think, for Christmas next year. But it says that this guy revealed that he's still trying to figure out what the film story will be, and makes it sound like principal photography is still a long way off. So they are trying to make a Star Wars film of some sort. Because there was going to be a Rogue Squadron film that was been delayed as well, so that seems to have gone a bit quiet as well.
Yeah.
So I think that was supposed to be set after Episode 9. It was supposed to be the Squadron or something. So again, lots of ideas bubbling on the surface, but nothing physically coming through, which is a shame. Any other news I've got?
Lord of the Rings side again.
I don't know. I know it's. I don't know. When is it coming out? I know isn't it going to be Amazon? Is it Amazon?
I thought. No, I don't know. I don't know. There's a backlash against it. But it's,
I don't mind the Lord of the Rings. I mean, I'm obviously Lord of the Rings is fantasy, and I'm more of a sci-fi. I don't mind them. I think the actual original movie is actually very, very good. But I was looking. Apparently, one of the extended versions, one of the movies, is something like 4.5 hours long. 4.5 hours long.
No,
that's crazy.
On the third one, and no, but it's second an hour.
Really?
First one, I loved because you were saying that world. Then I think it was about they went on for ages, and then the third one, and Gandalf gave that speech for over half an hour, and I was like,
"Wizard, you shall not pass." I don't mind them. I'm indifferent to them. I mean, I'm not a Harry Potter fan, for instance. My son's a big Harry Potter. I can't get into Harry Potter. I think they're very well made. I just don't click with them.
I enjoyed the film. I mean, I'm not, and I've seen the movies. I've not been to watch them, and I did enjoy. I've got to say, I really did enjoy them. I enjoyed them spin-off of the.
Oh yeah, they had one of those this year, didn't they? Or last year? They had a spin-off quite recently,
didn't they? Where did that go?
I don't know.
I just it there, and then it. I mean, it's gone. Moved on. I forgot what it's called. Strange Beasts or something.
Fantastic Beasts.
I've enjoyed them. I've actually enjoyed them, but I wouldn't go to the cinema.
No. Like I said. Oh, and apparently there's going to be a new Ghostbusters sequel apparently as well. That's coming along. So I quite like the one which came out. I think it was January, or December last year. And it was quite a good. I've only seen it once. I need to give that a rewatch. But I thought that for a movie loosely based sequel from the 80s movies, I think it was done quite well. It was almost like a next generation thing.
What's the next one gonna be?
That's
where it stands out on its own.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that they're free from the original cast. So yeah, I don't know. Now we're gonna wrap things up soon because your internet connection is quite bad. So although we can hear you, you're sounding a bit robotic again this week. Any other news before we sign off?
Why is it? Huh? Why is it? Internet? It could be your internet.
It could well be. I apologise. Well, if somebody's bloody internet is a bit dodgy, kind of thing. So, any other news before we wrap up from today?
No, that's it from the Book this week.
All right.
That's it for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, so obviously this week we've got brand new. It's gonna be like a horror episode of Strange New Worlds this week. Apparently, it's gonna be looks quite good. And then the Orville has got something going on there. No new Star Wars, of course, now, so I'm going to miss that because that's normally on tonight. And but that's the way it goes. So I think to wrap up, I came across this thing. There was a BBC show called Dead Ringers, and there's an impressionist called John Coleshaw, where he rang up a garage company trying to get his speeder repaired. I'm a big fan of prank calls. If you follow my channel, you know that. So this is not musical, but it's comical. So Martin, next week we're going to try to review The Martian Chronicles. If you're still up for that.
Yeah, I'm up for that. Yep.
I'm going to give it a rewatch between now and next week just to refresh my memory. I think it's only like 3 parts or something. It's not a huge series, but I want to get your perspective on that one.
If the digital gods are feeling generous.
You keep going there, Martin. You keep going there. What, to magically appear on your screen? Yeah, well, I'm sure.
Like all 3 episodes over the weekend.
Well, you might get some divine inspiration coming to your monitor near you. You never know. All right, Martin. Well, thank you so much for joining me once again. We will catch you next week on the Solo One Sci-Fi podcast. If I stop stuttering my words, enjoy this prank and live long and prosper.
Long and prosper.
Good afternoon, Griffin speaking. How can I help you?
Is that the place known as Quick Fit?
That's us.
That is you. Well, the fitters cannot be better. Is this true?
That's true.
Very good. I need an exhaust system for my vehicle, my good man.
What make and model car is it, please?
Well, I was wondering what was the most advanced type of exhaust system that you could provide for this vehicle.
Can I take your surname, please?
Kenobi.
Kenobi. Would that be Obi Wan Kenobi?
The Force is strong with you.
It is.
What sort of system can you provide for my vehicle?
Oh, it's this new space age stuff. It lasts forever. Gives you like 100 miles to the gallon.
100 miles to the gallon?
Cheap as well, yeah. It's only £5 per part, and usually it's also come with like 3 parts.
I did not know that things were so quite advanced on your planet.
Oh yeah, horrendous.
Can you fit an exhaust system for a vehicle that does not run on your petroleum earth fuel?
Oh, these exhausts work on no matter what you put it on. That's the magic.
Because my particular X-Wing fighter, upon sudden acceleration, the lights at the back are not glowing as pink as they normally do. There is something deeply wrong.
Oh, this will make them glow white-orange.
Even if it is powered by superlucent antimatter with cross-dimensional warp drive?
That's the stuff.
How much would it be to put on some replacement energy stores to power the laser cannons?
No, Darth Vader didn't give us the actual ingredients for those ones.
That is a shame. He is ruling Southport now. What was that sound?
That sound? Someone firing a laser cannon.
Was that a droid? Tell him not to laugh in the presence of a Jedi.
He says, don't laugh in the presence of a Jedi. Obi Wan Kenobi, this.
Do I bring the X-Wing fighter to you, or can you come to me?
Well, I don't think the X-Wing fighter will fit in the depot.
So you can come to me, can you not, and fix the X-Wing in the heart of the Dagobah system? You can?
No, we can't now.
Ah, well, I thought that you can't get better than a quick fit fitter, because you're the boys to trust.